Hey guys, Shawn Ziem, the connection machine, aka the insurance doctor. Wanted to come at you, have another connection conversation show where I'm bringing on guests, going to share their story, talk about a couple things, and actually give you a bird's eye view of what we do on these connection calls. I'm always talking about. A lot of you are like, "Oh, what are you really doing?" So let me bring on a good friend of mine, Sher. What's up, man? How are you?
I'm great, never better. How are you?
Doing fantastic. I know you're always traveling. I'm glad we were able to get you for a
Yeah,
few minutes just to share some tidbits. A lot of people don't even make calls anymore. They're using the phone, but they're
yep,
not they're not connecting. They're not really building relationships. And that's why I want to kind of bring this back and show
sure.
people what we're doing. So before we even get into it, who are you, Stan? And then what kind of business are you in? So those that are watching can understand.
So I am in the automotive business. I've been expanding into other industries. I have a 22-year background working in automotive retail, sales positions, management positions. I've had my own consulting firm for a little over 14 years now. In recent times, I'm working with Ford Motor Company. I'm doing a lot of consulting for them right now, and big theme of what I'm doing this year is the guest mindset. So Ford contracted me, amongst with some other consultants, to basically go into automotive dealerships and basically create like an immersion, a facilitation of transitioning our mindset from treating people as a customer to treating people as a guest. And so there's a big difference between customer and guest. People tend to say the word customer a lot. It took me about 3 months to get that out of my system just because I'm saying guest all the time. And what's nice about that program is it inspired me to go out into other industries. I recently got hired by a real estate office to do a training for their agents.
Nice.
Talked a lot about mindset, sales skills, and talked about how to treat people more as a guest. And I'm starting to really put that, I got inspired by Ford, obviously doing this, but I'm doing it more everywhere now. Any industry that involves uh, people facing businesses, so to speak.
That brings up, words are everything, like
Yes.
a lot of people, yeah, they use the term prospects, they might a term like lead. But yes, when you're changing it to a guest, you're not
Hmm.
salesy. You're actually taking care of people. You're actually asking them how you can help them. So I like that
Correct.
angle. I like that, word, the terminology. Just like I always, another term that's out there, referral or
Yes.
recommendation. I like
Hmm.
recommendation rather than referral.
Correct. Correct. And so, what's interesting about what we do, we talk about you know um, there were like we have this like slide, right? It talks about the different words, the difference between customer experience and guest experience. Like for instance, it could be challenging, right? We make it challenging. How do we make it simpler? And we go into another word for if we're making it challenging now, we want to make it, I don't know the word off the top of my head right now. I'm fried right now from all the travel, but it's an interesting mindset, and people will still call people customers. And one thing that I do when I'm training is whenever they say the word customer, I go, you mean what? And then they rephrase it and they go, yes. Client is another good word for it. But it's been really it's not just, what we've been doing is it's not just about treating them as a guest. I believe that there's way more to the training. And I believe that every business that's like involves sales service, and every industry that involves dealing with people needs this, because we talk about communication skills. One of the things we talk about in the first module, we call it the power of high performing teams. We talk about how do we make assumptions. We have an exercise where we put a picture of a person and they look like they're really frustrated, and then we go around the room and we say, hey, what do you think is going on in this person's mind right now? What are you assuming? And all these random answers come up. And then we go back and say, okay, now forget about that for a second. Let's assume that, imagine that this person is hard of hearing. How would you now handle the situation? And we use it as an example of maybe somebody walks into your dealership and they look like they're broke or they look like they're homeless, and you don't realize that maybe they're not. Maybe they actually are very successful, and it takes someone like me in the summer. I'll go to buy a car. I'll walk in with shorts and flip flops, I'm not suited up, and nobody really knows, who I am, what I am,
Yep.
what I do, what I make. And so we talk a lot about making assumptions. And the thing that's been really a game changer for me is I've been living this content. I'm delivering it 4 times a week now, and I'm doing it through June. Then it's going to shift into another piece of content, but I've been living it. I woke up one day with a nightmare of it. It was in my mind, right? And so it's making me a better person. It's making me better at how I sell. It makes me better at how I communicate. I went through a lot of heavy training on this. I was joking around. I said I got about 20 years of personal development in a week when they put me through this training.
It's the practice a lot of people don't want to do. They think they get to a
Yes,
certain level, they become complacent, and now the problem your competition is going to take your business because you're just
yes,
laying low instead of continuing focusing on growth. And you mentioned Stan was saying building teams. That's a
yep,
huge thing. That'll help leverage a business. If you try to
correct,
make a lot of money yourself, it's going to be hard. But if you have a
hmm
team, you get a little piece of
correct,
each of them, you're going to have leverage and you're going to have more opportunities to scale your business.
yes. So I mean, yeah, that's really what it comes down to. I talk about, you know, obviously we're all in it to make a living. We're all in it to be profitable, especially the car business, right? But I talk about, and I get people like I just was in a dealership where I had a person that was sitting there. He was like a negative Nancy, right? And he was sitting there, and and then finally when I picked on him, he was like, I want to know, where this is going. What's the end goal here? Because it's all great in theory, and yeah, there's a lot of theory talk here. But what we do is, and this is kind of how I consult, is I hold you accountable. We're going to get together in a room of people. We're going to have a discussion. We're going to have 5 modules. We're going to get notes. You're all going to put a note, your thoughts on a sticky note. If I ask you a question and you have a really interesting answer, and we'll put it out there. And then by the end of that day or the end of 2 days, I sit down with leadership, management, and we will condense it to the top three. And then over the next coming months, I will hold them accountable every 3 weeks. Hey, you said you were going to do this. How's that going for you? How can I help you? So it's a lot more, so I'm a facilitator, but I'm also a coach. And so it's a lot of fun. And the only way that any of this takes place is if and it things the changes will happen. We talk about embracing change. It happens when someone holds you accountable. Someone goes back and if I'm leading a team and I'm building my own team, with whatever it is I'm selling, maybe it's a mobile cell phone store, or maybe it's a furniture store, and we decide we're going to do something. I'm going to check on with my other leaders every 2 days. Hey, we said we're going to do this. Did we start? What's going on? Um, we all have to be coaches, and one of the things that I always talk about, and people don't realize that they all have leadership skills, right? And I always tell we have a module called Lead Today, so I always look around the room. I go, "Hey, you realize you're a leader, right?" And they're like, "No, how I'm not a leader." And I'm like, "Well, no, actually, you are. You don't realize it yet." And then I look, and then I go, "Did you see all these ideas that came out of everybody in the room? But why do you think we were able to put all this out? Because you are a leader. It's just that I have to get it out of you." And
Right.
that's what it comes down to.
And that which is it's very important to understand, guys. There are leaders out there. Some people don't realize they are. And but you also you have to have some downtime. Are you still doing your playing your guitar?
Not as much as I want to. I'm gonna try to tomorrow. I'm gonna try to tomorrow. I eat a lot. I go to the gym when I can. I've been traveling like the most I've ever traveled in my life. I've been traveling the last 2 months, and it's going to be like that through the end of the year. But it's gonna probably at middle of June. It's going to slow down a little bit. But I'm doing that. I also have my own outsourced call center in the Philippines. So we help out a couple car dealerships. I am looking to maybe expand that into like dental and doctors offices. I've been talking about that for 6 months now. At some point I'll pull the trigger. I am looking to do more speaking. You know I'm speaking at a workshop on April 16th in Pittsburgh for an automotive sales training event. I am looking to get more into that. I'm also in the process of writing a book. I'm on chapter 3 already of what I'm teaching now, the whole guest experience mindset. So that's going to be an interesting book. And I'm taking that, many levels deep, because it's not going to be just automotive, it's going to be in everything. I want it to be focused around communication skills. We lost the art of communicating. Cell phones
Yes.
killed it. um, I go into some of these car dealerships and I can't even get somebody to give me a sentence properly. And meanwhile, their job is to sell vehicles. It's like, and I'm just like, how are you in a people facing role and you don't even have communication skills? Because it is hard to hire people now. So I deal a lot with that right now. And my goal was to try to bring communication skills back into the mix across society, I guess.
I definitely agree with you. Definitely agree. Communication is key. Hey, traveling, any hacks out there that you can share for those that are traveling? I haven't been traveling in a while. Is there anything that you have been seeing that will help people, I don't know, get upgrades, get special treatment, better guest experience that they might have?
Actually, I'm glad you asked that question. So so I'm a Hilton Diamonds member. Last year, I didn't travel as much, so I'm in danger of losing my status to go down to silver. But I know that
Ah,
I am very close to getting it because I've been traveling so much. But like I'm like maybe 12 or 13 stays away by the end of this month to hit it, and I'm not going to hit it. And so I called up Hilton, and they have like this program where, like an acceleration program, where if I stay at their hotels X amount of times in the next 90 days, I'm going to automatically keep it. So I'm working on that. But one of the hacks that I've been doing was, if I'm somewhere for 3, 4 days, what I'll do is I'll book the hotel for one night, and then I'll go back and stay at another Hilton hotel, and I'll literally check out of a hotel and go to a different one in the area, because I have to hit either 60 nights or 30 stays or like 109,000 points. So it's easier to do
wow.
it by the stays. So like for instance, last week I stayed in 4 hotels. So that's a big travel hack that I've been doing. Obviously, pack smart. I don't like to check bags in. I got forced to do it last night, and then I had to wait an hour to get my bag. I'm not big on checking things in, but really just maximize your points, maximize the rewards, and my goal is to take a really nice, expensive vacation somewhere, and for it to be as close to free as possible.
There you have it, guys. That's then, man, Stan, we've known each other a long time. People don't do this. They
Yeah,
don't connect. They don't
I know.
follow up with their people. They don't build relationships. Yeah, people could be on the other side of the world. You still can have conversations like we're having right now.
Yeah,
So, guys, if you want to connect with Stan, all this stuff is in the description. Please reach out. You
appreciate
want a
that.
second opinion insurance review? I'd love to help you on that front.
Hmm.
Things are going on the screen. And Stan, keep crushing it, man. We'll definitely be back in
Appreciate
touch.
that.
And I appreciate your
Appreciate
time
that.
today.
Likewise, I'll talk to you soon. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You got it, man. Everyone else, we hope you have an amazing rest of your day.
All right.